What's up? Hello. We are talking about the digestive system this week, and this is a banger of one. This is a fun one. This is a cool one. This is a useful one, even if you're not going to be a nurse or anything like that, because you get to understand how it is exactly that all that food you've ever eaten. I mean, imagine all that food you've eaten in your life just piled up into a mountain. And then you climb it and you just like make a food angel in it. Be really weird. But let's look at this. By the end of this, I think it's pretty cool. You know, you're gonna get to understand like why do we eat soup when we're sick? Like, what is it about that? Like, what is it about grandma's soup? That when you're sick, grandma's soup. My grandma didn't make me soup like this. I got chicken noodle when it was delicious. But this looks fancy as hell. It got tiny little fungus penises in it. Ooh, and these huge carrots. Ooh, looks like I got some egg in there. Ooh, oh, speaking of egg. Anyway, we're going to understand that. Like, why soup when we're sick? Why would that be beneficial? You know, and over here I've shown this image before, way back in the macromolecules discussion. We're going to talk a little bit about this more, like denaturing protein. So we have egg yolk here, and then we have egg white. And as we cook the egg white, it actually becomes white. It goes from this transparent, clear, translucent color to being white. And I don't know if you remember why that is, but we'll talk about it. And then we're going to talk about this, which is crazy. People don't think about this. Your digestive system is connected deeply to your cognitive function, to your brain, to your thinking, to your mood, to your memory. So we're going to get into all that. This little study here is looking at, so this is a bacteria. This would be like a single little E. coli or something like that. We're not really talking about these little spider guys, but these are viruses that infect bacteria, called bacteriophages. And these bacteriophages, these viruses that infect bacteria, are important for cognition, memory, learning inside of mice. And most likely inside of us as well. This is a study from a few years ago. I've not looked into it since then. So, you know, in my little time frame here on the earth being a biologist, we've learned so much about how the bacteria in your gut do all this crazy stuff, and we're going to talk about that too. But let's just go back here, all the way back here. Digestive system, and kind of touch on this one here. Got a lot. Cellular respiration. Actually, let's go to macromolecules here. Way back here, all the way back to organic chemistry. Proteins. Yeah, you remember this? Look at this. Okay, we're going to talk about cows again. We got eggs here. You know, a protein is a three-dimensional structure. It's a three-dimensional structure. You remember this? This was like our protein with its three-dimensional structure. We got a bunch of it. And then when we heat it up, what we're doing is we're unfolding that protein, and then it's all sticking together. What you're doing when you're cooking something is you're pre-digesting it. Okay? Anytime you're cooking, I want you to think, I am pre-digesting this food. Now, there's another organism that pre-digests its food. And it's a little fly. We'll talk about that in a second. But then I just want to bring this bad boy back too. This is the confusing one. Let's go. So this has something to do with cellular respiration. Let's go to this one that I just did in the respiratory system. Right here, this guy again. We got a mitochondria, and we put in O2 from the air from our lungs and our heart, and we need sugar to feed it. And really what your digestive system is all about, it's about feeding this bad boy. Again, it's weird. It all ties back to the same stuff, isn't it? Like the mitochondria, we learn it as the powerhouse of the cell, but really it's like the center People think of the nucleus as the center of the cell, but this thing keeps the nucleus alive. This thing is the center of the cell. And so all of this digestive system, it's really in place to provide this, or fat, or protein. They can all enter into the mitochondria eventually. But it's to fuel the mitochondria. The purpose of your digestive system is to fuel your mitochondria. Mitochondria. Okay, pretty crazy stuff. There was something I wanted to touch on with. We'll talk about the cows, eggs, protein. That's fine. I'll forget. It's okay. And you don't need to know everything. All right. So, all right. That's one of the main purposes. Let's talk about other purposes. So, purposes of the digestive system. Purposes. On my arms and legs for you. Purposes. Okay, so that's one. Gives us energy, right? What's another one? It actually, we build out to give us building blocks to build more of us, right? To build more of our cells. So what are cells made out of? So these are really the two purposes. Cells are made out of 4 macromolecules, which are, if you remember, carbohydrates, lipids, protein, and last but not least, nucleic acid. That's what cells are made out of, right? And what is food? Food mostly made out of. What is food made out of? You guessed it. We've done a whole discussion board post on this. Boom! It's made out of the same stuff. So part of eating is to give us energy, right? To fuel this. But then also to like break this stuff down and then just use it to build ourselves out of. Okay. Let's talk basic anatomy. And for this one, I'm just going to go through and just kind of go through the digestive system. And we're just going to label the anatomical parts. Then in the next one, we'll come back through and talk about all the function. Okay. Let's see. Do it on a whole page for this anatomy, and we're going to try to draw a whole person from the head to the anus. So give yourself some room, but make it big enough so that it's clear. And let's see how we do. If you need to split it across 2 pages, that'll work too. That would be totally fine. Just make it clear. All right, I'm going to draw a really crappy human here. And I have to draw as big because I'm drawing my frickin' mouse, so bear with me. What color do I want my human to be? I think maybe this weird blue color. All right. Oh, yep. Already loving it. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, baby. Okay. Look at that. Coming together. All right. All right. Ooh, man, I tell you what. I'd give it a kiss. I'd see what's in there. Okay, then we got, right, those right there, obviously the lips. I'll come back and label them though. Then right behind those, we got our little champy champs. Ooh, them some sharp incisors. Then we got our tongue. Oh yeah, I'm getting better at drawing. Okay. And if you remember, we got a little thing called an epiglottis that comes up and over here. And then in the front, we got our windpipe, or our trachea. And it's got this hyaline cartilage. This is part of your respiratory system. I'm just redrawing it. It's got this hyaline cartilage to keep it open. That looks like trash. It's going to bother me. I need to fix that. I apologize. Okay. Beautiful. And we need a little top to this oral cavity here. And back of the throat. A little something like this, actually. Okay. And then right here, you'd actually have another tube. We talked a little bit about this. Okay, this would be like where the nasal cavity comes down. Maybe a little goofy there, but the nasal cavity come around like that. Let me fix it. Needs to be a little more open. Oops. Like so. Okay, I'm digging that. All right, let's just stay right there. Stay right here. Let's draw in a couple extra things now. So back here we actually have, let's kind of wrap around like this. So right here we've got a couple of extra glands now. Digestive glands. And how do I draw these? My brain is not working. Like that and like that. Okay. Sorry, my brain ain't working. Okay, so kind of up here in the back, we got a gland there. And then we got one right here. And then one here. And these connect to the mouth. So these connect here back to the mouth. Up here under the tongue. And this one also kind of comes up, connects under the tongue. Okay, so these are your salivary glands. And I think let's go ahead and label these. Let's go ahead and label this one. So this is, these bad boys would be your champus, dentition or teeth. Dentition, teeth. Dentition or teeth. Obviously this is your tunji, also known as your tongue. 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 And these are your salivary glands. In pink. Salivary glands. Okay, and we've got 3. We got uno. I don't actually necessarily care that you know the name of these, but I'm going to label them down in here just so you know. This is your sublingual. It's under your tongue. Sublingual. Well, it's under your language. This one is it's underneath your mandible. So submandibular. Submandibular. And this one's your parotid. Parotid. They're all salivary glands. Okay, and these, we'll talk about the physiology in a second. Okay, here we got our esophagus. 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 Tongue, obviously a muscle. Gotta be your epiglottis. I think you count that as part of the digestive system too. Because without it, we'd be choking all the time. Kind of in between. Epiglottis. Okay. Oh, no, that's not what I wanted. Dang it. Okay, I fixed it. All right, let's keep cruising. We're doing good. Yeah, he's beautiful. Okay, so let's keep on cruising. All right, let's extend this esophagus down. And we go all the way down through the lungs. And your stomach is just under your lungs, just under your diaphragm. So like doing some deep belly breathing tells your parasympathetic nervous system to relax, but it also is like kind of like undulating your digestive system around to help, your food churn and move in your stomach. So your respiratory system is tightly tied with your digestive system. Okay, your stomach, we'll finish it there. Might actually go a little bit longer. But your stomach has this big upper part like this, and it's real stretchy. Like so. Like it's nice and thin down there. Okay. Looks okay. It looks a little weird to me, but I'll keep it. There's a couple of valves here actually. So right here, they're not actually valves. They're called sphincters. Sphincters. There's one there, and there's one here. Come on, work with it, boy. Okay. All right. So this is obviously your stomach. Stomach. And this guy here, that is your cardiac, because it's near your heart sphincter. That's how I remembered it. Sphincter. No, I forgot the S. Stop it. Oh, stop it. Cardiac sphincter. Or it's also called lower esophageal sphincter. Esophageal sphincter. I prefer cardiac sphincter because it's a little easier to say. Okay, it's not a great sphincter. Like it's not as good as your butthole. It can be kind of leaky, and it's actually like, I don't know, my anatomy teacher talked about this a lot, so I'm just going to trust her. Like it's like controversial as to whether or not we should really call it a sphincter, because it doesn't always close up properly, and that's when you get like things like acid reflux and all that. We'll talk more about that. Okay, down here, this is our pyloric sphincter. Pyloric sphincter. Pyloric sphincter. Okay, and this controls and regulates the flow of material down into the rest of the digestive system. Okay. And the next little part is a very, very special part of your small intestine. So 3 things empty into this part: your stomach, your liver, and your pancreas. So this little section of your small intestine is super, 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 super important. Okay, and we'll talk about the details of that, but this is called your duodenum. That means duo, or duodenum is how you can say it, or duodenum. But duodenum is a nice way to say it because this means 2. This means 2. And denum means 10. So 2 and 10. This is about 12 inches. It's about a foot long, about 12 inches long. And if you look at the like tissue of it, the histology, the cells, it looks different than the rest of your other small intestines. Okay? All right, then we got, coming up here, we got another little guy. It looks something like this. It's kind of a really pretty looking organ. Long and kind of ruffly. And it connects here to the duodenum. And I'll leave the top open there. And it's very glandular on the inside, meaning there's a lot being secreted from this bad boy. So there's like a lot of ducts and tubes and things like that. And this is the crappiest pancreas I've ever drawn. But that's okay. It's all good. This is your pancreas. And we'll talk all about its function here in a minute. So that's your pancreas. Beautiful. That stomach is huge. That pancreas is small. That's okay. I'll live. I'll live. I'll live. It's not my favorite, but I'll live. Okay. Now up here, we got a big old organ. This boy. This boy is huge. This is your biggest internal organ, so I gotta make it bigger than that stomach. I'll even give it this nice upper lobe here. Okay, something like that. All right, this is obviously this is your liver. And inside of your liver, you got a whole other little guy up in here. And it's like a little sac, a little storage sac. It's your gallbladder. Okay. And then coming down, all from the liver, there's ducts that feed into the gallbladder. And there's also a duct that comes out from the gallbladder. It comes down here. It connects right there. Just like so. Beautiful. Okay. All right. Gonna make this a little bigger. That's better. That makes me a little happier. Okay. All right. Now we get into, we're actually almost done with the anatomy. Now we get into more of the small intestine. I'll do this also. We get another 2 sections of it. I'll do it also in this kind of orangey color. What's that? Is there a weird sound? Okay. Small intestine. And then I'm going to draw this snaking around a few times. Like so. That's good. Beautiful. Okay, and then this small intestine has 2 parts. So this would be your duodenum. Duodenum, duodenum, and then down here would be your ileum. Ileum. And again, these, like if you looked at the cells, the histology of them, you could see the differences between these types of intestines. I don't expect you to know that, but know that there's these three sections for sure. Then we get into the large intestine, also known as the colon. And it looks something like this. It's a really kind of pretty organ, considering what it holds. And this kind of little special part down here at the bottom. Looks like that. Looks like a little tail or a little vermin. And then this is all like, boop. Drawing this, not my favorite. But you're getting the idea. It's kind of lumpy. It's kind of like a lumpy tube. And it's got three parts really. Lumpy tube, me and you. So it's got an ascending, a transverse, and a descending. And then it's got a couple little interesting parts here. Got snakes back around. Like so. And then it's got a little whoop. Okay. Not bad. All right, so this guy, there's actually a little valve here. And this one is definitely a valve because we don't want things rolling backwards. This is your ileocecal valve. This little part, this is your large intestine. Large intestine. Or colon, okay? And this is a specialized little part of the colon called the cecum. It's this little sac down here at the bottom, right here. This is your cecum. So that's why this is ileocecal valve. It's where the ileum meets the cecum, okay? And then this thing here is your appendix. We're going to talk all about this here in a second. This is your appendix. Pretty nifty. Whoa, that thing. Your appendix, it doesn't have a function. It does have a function, and we're going to talk about it. I have a resentment against people who don't know what the appendix is. It's crazy. You Google the appendix, it'll tell you all kinds of lies about it. But it does have a function. Okay, this is the ascending colon. It's going up. Ascending. That's not how you spell that. Ascending colon. It's going up. This is the transverse colon. It's going across. Transverse colon. This is the descending colon. Descending colon. Descending. And this is the sigmoidal. It looks like an S. Sigmoidal. Sigmoidal colon. Sigmoidal colon. And then this right here is the anus, and this bad boy is the rectum. That's right. You know more about butt anatomy now than most people. This is the rectum. You got a rectum in the rectum, bro. Okay. That's our basic anatomy. Now we're going to go through and kind of talk about the function of all of these and what they actually do. It's pretty nifty, though. All right. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bang, bang.